Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about something that came up on my Twitter feed and that I thought was an interesting conversation to have. As a little bit of an introduction, preface, whatever you want to call this, I don't know if you guys grew up in the same kind of content environment, I guess, as me, but when I was a kid, there were a lot of popular shows. Granted, not like now, it was a lot more rare, but there were a lot of popular shows that were almost reality TV, but not exactly, because we're talking about 2010s-ish earlier. Anyway, that talked about people who got crazy amounts of surgery. And when I say crazy amounts of surgery, I mean getting surgeries that are very extensive and that typically involve multiple parts of your body. So I'm talking about people who got surgeries to look exactly like Elvis, or people who modified basically every part of their body. So they were going for a whole look, including surgery upon surgery upon surgery. Now, when I was a kid, I watched these in disbelief, but also in a type of way where I didn't really understand, right? Because as a kid, you can see these people getting these surgeries, you can be like, wow, I wonder how that works, blah, 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 but you don't understand the implications, psychologically speaking, potentially culturally speaking, the way that society is going to view you for those choices. All of these extra layers aren't things you consider. Because I grew up with certain types of content like that, I thought that this was an interesting story to be discussed. So I was on Twitter and this popped up on my feed. So this person has an online presence. Her name is Mary69 Magdalene on Twitter, and on Instagram it's 1-800-LEAVE-MARY-ALONE. Now, they posted a screenshot of an Instagram post of Mary's along with a picture of her. Mary talks about regretting a lot of these plastic surgeries. Now, for reference, I'll put a video or picture of her here just so you understand what the plastic surgeries being referenced are. So in this post that I saw on Twitter, she said, "So sick of this surgery BS, I'm trapped now for who knows how long, because you'll get something done in hopes to quote unquote fix something, but then the doctor could mess up. I'm burnt the fuck out from this lifestyle. I wish I never did it. Not worth all the time and money, stress. My body can't recover the same anymore. I just want to live a normal life, and I can't. And I'm not asking for pity. I did this all myself willingly, just sharing this for people who want to go to the extreme surgery look, because you will deal with a lot of complications eventually. It's not worth it." Now, the reason why I'm talking about this, aside from, like I said, you know, me watching these types of shows when I was younger, so I've always had a bit of an interest in people who go to these levels with plastic surgery, is that a lot of the times with these shows, there isn't really a follow-through, a follow-up. It's just kind of like, hey, look at this person, they got these extensive surgeries, anyway, bye. And it's over, and a lot of the times you just don't even know what happens. You don't know if a couple years later they reverse everything, if they continue adding. There's not really much said, and it feels a little bit like a story half untold, let us say. And on top of that, a lot of the people in these shows, now that I'm older, I realize it, but back then I was too young to really process to such a degree, I guess. A lot of these people had other issues going on. Now, I'm not saying that you're automatically mentally ill if you get plastic surgery, let us be clear, but I do think some people get plastic surgery because of body dysmorphia or other issues. I think that's a reality we have to face, right? Especially people who go in extreme directions. So I thought it was, I don't want to say nice, because I'm not happy that this person is going through something like this, but I think it's helpful in the big picture to show how it is for someone coming back from that extreme lifestyle. Does that make sense? So then the Twitter account in question that I was talking about also posted a video that Mary had posted herself showing that one of her breast implants popped.
Yeah, basically my breast implant popped again, and I am having surgery to take them out next week. I am gonna go back natural. Not just my boob, but other parts of my body.
I think this may have been, as an outsider, I obviously don't know what's going on in her head. As an outsider, this may have been kind of what was potentially a wake-up call, or like the final straw after thinking about doing this for a while. She's gonna get everything removed. So another thing she posted was, "When I see extreme surgery, now I'm just reminded of bad things and traumatic events. That's why I lost total interest in the extreme bimbo look for me. It is far from a fun, happy hobby now. Surgery has become a draining nightmare. Luckily, my new small boobs and punani look great. I won't be revealing the results for a while until I am recovered more. The other surgery I had was to fix one side of my butt, and that's what I'm having issues with. I hope it is just swelling. I'll go into more detail about that as time goes on. The doctor and the nurses have been great, so I'm not even talking shit. It's just the silicone is reacting wild. Now I just have to do a butt reconstruction so I can have a natural-ish looking size, then dissolve my lips a bit and I'll be good. I'll be free from this surgery prison. So I thought that, again, this was really helpful because I do think that there are two very separate sides of the internet that I see. And I don't know if it's just my algorithm feeding me these things based on what I like. Anyway, I have on my timeline, typically, I see people who are super in favor of plastic surgery, which typically I'm in favor in the sense of if you are doing things in a healthy way that's not going to hurt you and you want to do them, okay, do the thing. But at the same time, I'm also not going to be the person who's going to minimize what it is you're doing. I'm not going to just be like, oh, it's just this, it's just that. You know, like even if you're doing lip injections, so it's something that'll dissolve with time, blah, 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 I'm still not going to minimize that to nothing because you still are doing a procedure. Even if it's not, I guess, invasive, it's still a procedure. So I think there has to be that good balance of, yeah, do it if you want to, but also let's not pretend like it's nothing. For that reason, I thought that this was interesting because we're seeing someone who went to the extremes who's now coming back and is giving us the perspective that not that many people have, being very realistic. There aren't that many people who go to such extremes. On Mary's story today, it said, "The ugly truth about recovery, leaking yellow fluid out of your incisions, very gorgeous." And I also have to say, I like the transparency here. Now, obviously, she should only share what she feels like sharing, but I do think it is helpful to share parts of the process because I feel like if you're looking into surgery, I feel like you're going to look into what happens on your way there. But like with everything else, if you're not planning on coming back, you're not going to look at what is it like to remove breast implants or something like that, right? So having this, I think, is actually really beneficial for the people who might be getting surgery. I'm not going to say for the wrong reasons, but maybe have the wrong reasons pushing them to do it, whether that be body dysmorphia or other things. And then she posted another story saying, "Recovering from procedures is a very long, boring, lonely, painful process, especially when you're in a foreign country. I've used tattoos to cover scars, for example. Look at the scar inside the star. Tattoos are awesome for that, 100% recommend." And then she said, "I think seeing the transformation is cool, how you're able to see different stages of healing the body goes through. It's like a science project, lol, but mentally it can be challenging. Boo-hoo. Violin emojis, lol." And I think that seeing more things like this is helpful. I think it might be difficult to look at because obviously you are looking at someone who at the very least is having a shitty experience and you're seeing them go through that and you're seeing them document that. And I wish shows did that more, the shows that focus on plastic surgery, because as much as it can be quote unquote entertaining to see these people do these extreme things, it's also like we need to talk about the consequences that are less haha funny moments and more just the reality of what can happen if you're getting these types of invasive surgeries. Now, there are comments, I'm not going to feature the comments saying shit because honestly, there's no real point because they're just shaming her. They're not making any constructive criticism. It really is a question of who would have known, you should have just loved yourself. Just a series of things that I think are at this point beside the issue. Because if you get to a point where, let's say you've made mistakes with your body, you've done things you regret, the only thing you can do is try to reverse it, which is what she's doing. So I don't really understand what else a person in her position is supposed to be doing. So those comments I think are completely unnecessary. That being said, I did see a lot of supportive comments, which was great. And I think the very bottom line is just to really consider what it is that we're doing with our bodies, which is so obvious, so I feel dumb even saying it out loud. But I do think that there has been, like I said, this kind of polar opposites of either all surgery or no surgery, or like even with makeup we see, you know, like wear no makeup or full face. Like it's just a lot and really polarizing for no real reason, because you could always get one small procedure and have that be it. Like you can get none, like you can get 5. It doesn't work as an all or nothing, in my opinion. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think that having these kind of transparent recordings of events as they're happening is helpful? Do you think it has some kind of positive impact in terms of even just people deciding to gather more information instead of jumping in head first? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.